I was trying to be fancy and I screwed something up. So I don't know what just happened. But here we are. Can you believe we are on day 59? Today is February 28th. We are officially done with the month of February after today. And yeah, today I want to go over really, we've spent the entire month of February going over the One Big Beautiful Bill. And so today I just want to do a recap of the One Big Beautiful Bill and what I call the big three. And if you've ever watched This Is Us, I was a fan of that series. Um, it was my fave. And so the big three, you had Randall, Kevin, and Kate. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. But the big three of the One Big Beautiful Bill, that's what we're gonna talk about today. So if you are joining me live today, put a live in the chat. If you're joining me on the replay, hit like just say replay or something. Let me know that you've watched it. Um, I am Jennifer Drew. I am the founder and CEO of Hair CEO. We are a business advisory, bookkeeping, and tax firm helping self employed hair professionals and hair business owners run legitimate, profitable, and bankable businesses. And I'm doing this 2026 Tax Talk series where I just dive into different topics, helping you prepare for the filing season. So let's jump in today. The big three. Number one, we're going to go over these. Now, I have gone into more detail of these in prior videos. So if any one of these recap items you want to get more information about, you'll just want to go through the playlist and find whichever video I go into more detail, because this is just going to be an overview. So the first one, as a recap, is the tip and the overtime credits. So the tip credit up to 25,000 of your tips, qualified tips, can be deducted from your income. Now, this is big because this does not impact um, your adjusted gross income, which a lot of people want to make sure that that adjusted gross income is not going down, because some of you are trying to get approved for, homes or, cars, apartments, whatever it is. And they want to know that you are making money. And so that's one of the questions that I got or get, a lot of times is, well, if I take this $25,000 tip deduction, is that going to make me look like, I have really low income or lower income? I'm trying to get qualified for some type of big purchase. And the answer to that is no, it will not. Because of the way the credit is done, you actually will get the full amount on your AGI that with the tips, and then the tip deduction is afterwards. So you don't have to worry about that. I think that's pretty awesome. Okay, now then when it comes to the overtime not being taxed, we went over this one as well. So the tip deduction is up to 25,000, but the overtime is up to $12,500 that can skip the overtime tax. So this is something that and you want to make sure that you are talking to your tax professional about, because remember, these changes came very late in 2025. I mean, this was past July 4th, 2025. And so, people were scrambling, tax companies, preparers, the payroll services, they were all scrambling to make updates. And I know that the majority of payroll services were not able to implement the overtime in a way where it's easy to see. So that's going to be something that you definitely want to make sure that you are talking to your tax professional about, because if you were on W-2, it may not show in a way that would make that very easy. So that's a conversation that you want to have with your tax professional for sure. Now, for all my business owners out there, we always work overtime. But there is no tax deduction for that because it's our business. And yeah, this is only applicable to payroll. So the profit, no, we just out here running businesses and working overtime all the time. And we are not going to get that credit. Okay. So now let's talk about the number two. So if I had to put them in order of my big three, who are my favorite big three from This Is Us? Let me see. Randall. No, or was it Kevin? It's a tie. I loved both Kevin and Randall. Hmm. No, you know what? I'm gonna go in order in the birth order. What Kevin was first. Kevin, that was Kevin. So now let's talk about Kate. 100% bonus depreciation. So I talked a little bit about this. Bonus depreciation is back and is permanent. This is a huge win for the hair business, the hair industry, because our equipment is not cheap. And a lot of times, we would, well, the bonus depreciation was diminishing every year. And so now we don't have to worry about hurrying up and buying something because, oh, the bonus depreciation is going to expire. We don't have to worry about that now. So back up to 100%. So any large purchases that you've made, you are able to write it off 100% bonus depreciation. And if you go back to my video where I was talking about this, we talked about the differences between bonus depreciation in section 179, which you may have heard of, where it's like, well, Jennifer, I could take the full deduction if I just take 179. No, go back and look at the video where I explain why bonus depreciation and section 179, they're two very different things. So you want to go back and make sure that you are understanding that properly. And again, having a conversation with your tax professional, because this may be something that you're able to take advantage of in 2025. So that's number two. That's from Kate, right? So if you're just joining, because I see it's a little bit more you guys in here right now in the chat, I'm going over the big three of the One Big Beautiful Bill, since this is the last day of the overview of, well, not the overview, but really the deep dive into the One Big Beautiful Bill. All February, I've been just taking pieces of that bill and explaining how it impacts us in the hair industry. And I talked about how I was a huge fan of This Is Us, the television show, when it was out, syndicated now. Is it syndicated? I don't know. I watch it on Netflix. Well, it's not on Netflix anymore. I don't know where it is anymore. But the big three, Kevin, Kate, and Randall. So I'm going through these as the big three. All right, so that was Kate. So now let's do three. And then it was me. Randall, the 45B tax credit. This is that third big item for the One Big Beautiful Bill, where previously I talked about how only restaurants got this credit, where they have employees that work for them and they get tipped. Well, the tip income was a part of payroll. And so the restaurants were able to get a dollar for dollar credit for anything that they've paid employer taxes wise on those tips. And it wasn't the case with the hair industry. Very similar, setup, where it's a service that the stylists are providing, and the client is providing a tip for them, but yet the salon owners and the barbershop owners had to pay employer taxes on those tips, but get no benefit from that tip income. So thankfully, that is gone and we don't have to pay those employment taxes on there. But you have to make sure that you are working with your tax professional to make sure that you're getting that credit applied properly. So that is number three from the big three, my Randall of the One Big Beautiful Bill. And I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about in March, because how is it today is day 59. Tomorrow we are in March, and that's the last month for this 90-day challenge. I'm doing this 90-day challenge for you. And then after that, it's just going to be YouTube videos, regular YouTube videos, not live. But the series will be over. But for March, I'm going to be going into some questions that I've been getting from clients. So I'm just going to bring questions as they've been coming to me and go over my answers here on the live. So that's what March is going to be about. I'm thinking it's like more of we've gone into the tax law, we talked about preparation, that was all in January. February, we did a deep dive into the one big beautiful bill. And so March, I really want to like land this plane with real world impacts. What are the real questions that you have? And what are the real questions that I'm getting from barbershop owners, salon owners, independent barbers and braiders, locticians, the clients that I work with? They send me questions all the time, whether it be through email or Instagram. Sometimes you guys are instant messaging me on TikTok. Like I'm getting questions in various formats. And so I want to make sure that I am bringing them here to the live in March and answering those questions for you in case you have similar questions. So that's what we're going to be talking about all of March. And that'll wrap up our 2026 Tax Talk series. So have a good evening. Today is Saturday. I hope you are doing something relaxing and enjoying the weekend a little bit. And I will see you tomorrow on another episode of the 2026 Tax Talk. See you then.